Even if you are super lazy or just super busy, maybe, you 100% will be able to do this quick, at-home hockey goalie workout.
You can do it!
Welcome back to Goalie Training Pro TV. Maria Mountain here. I am an exercise physiologist who specializes in off-ice training for hockey goalies, which means I help you win more games with fewer injuries. And I'll tell you a fun fact. Not everyone loves to train the way the most elite level goalies train. Even some of the most elite level goalies don't like to do their training. Maybe even more than you don't like to do your training, but they like the results. They like going out and stoning shooter after shooter. They love being the go-to goalie in their league, and that's what drives them. So today, I'm gonna lower the barrier, and I'm not gonna give you sort of the in-depth workout that I would give an elite goalie or that the goalies in my programs get, but I'm gonna give you just the very bare minimum, if you do nothing else, what's gonna give you good results on the ice after just the first couple of weeks. So let's get you moving. So we'll just get your body moving a little bit with a teeny little dynamic warm-up. This is called a walking quad stretch. We're gonna do 3 on each side. Coming back, we're gonna go down, back, together, down, back, together. I'm gonna come back again just so I stay somewhat in the frame, but we'll do 3 each way, and then we'll jump into the world's greatest stretch. And we'll do 3 of those on each side as well. Remember, I'm trying to give you a workout that is effective, but super simple. No special equipment. You can do it anywhere. Even if you travel for work, you can do it in your hotel room. So we're gonna start with a strength exercise that's gonna work our general upper body, so good pushing exercise. It's also gonna require a lot of core stabilization and hip stabilization. It's a version of a push-up, and we don't think of push-ups as core stabilization, hip stabilization exercises, but they are. That's how we hold that sort of plank position. I'm gonna make my feet a little wider, my hands a little narrower, because when I come up from my push-up, I'm gonna stabilize. So I'm gonna pick one arm up and just bring that hand to my shoulder, but my body isn't gonna twist or turn. That's where the stabilization comes in. So I'm gonna push up, come up, and then just stabilize. And I'll hold that position for about 2 seconds. I'm going to start with 4 on each side. If you're like, oh my gosh, I can't even do 8 push-ups, it's totally okay to go from your knees. That's fair. Or put your hands up, on the bed, or elevate them somehow so that your body's at more of an angle, and that will make it easier for you. Then we'll get one for your legs, and it's a strengthening exercise, but also a stabilization exercise. It's going to be a reverse lunge, and then coming up, to a balance, she said. Easy for you to say. A reverse lunge to balance. So coming back into your reverse lunge, up to balance, getting tall, being strong in this hip, really like you're trying to touch your head to the top of the ceiling. Could you hold dumbbells for this? Absolutely you could, as long as you're getting your balance. What if you don't have dumbbells? Well, during the pandemic, I learned that, you can put quite a bit of weight in a backpack. So you can put magazines, water bottles, those big laundry detergent jugs in a backpack, and easily get a backpack weighing 10, 15, 20 or more pounds. So those are a few options for you if you don't have some dumbbells, but you want to add overload to this exercise. We're going to do 6 on each side. You're going to just step back. When you get to the top, you're going to pause for at least 2 seconds to get that balance. Next one's going to be a side plank and a clamshell. So we're going to side plank from our knees. I'm soft, so I'm using a little cushion under my knees. You can use a folded up towel under your elbow or your knee if it's uncomfortable for you. But I'm going to have my knees bent to just a little more than 90 degrees. And I'll come up in my good side plank position. But then I'm going to pick this top knee up and come back down. My torso stays stable. I'm not rolling my body back and forth. My feet are touching. I'm just lifting up and coming back down. It's just a 1 second pause at the top. and then about 2 seconds coming back down. You're going to do 8 of those on each side. So in addition to using your torso, your obliques, also focus on this muscle here on the outside of your hip. You can see how it's a lateral hip rotator, but you can see how, it's instrumental for pushing from this position, or anytime you're trying to pivot or spin, you're going to use that muscle. That is your first superset. So you're going to go push up, reverse lunge to balance, side plank plus clamshell in order. That's 1 time through the superset. Then you're going to do it again. You're going to do 2 sets of that. Now, before we go on to your next superset, I want to tell you straight up, because I think some of you get a little confused. If you're looking to be the best goalie you can possibly be, and it's enough of a priority for you that you have the time, or you're going to make the time to invest, this isn't the program for you. This is for those of you who, I'd really like to be a better goalie. I have kids and work or homework, or, it's not, I do other things. This isn't my number one biggest priority, and that's okay. It doesn't mean, I joked about you being lazy at the start. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It just means you have other priorities. But I would like to be better. This is for you. This is I don't want to have to go to the gym. I don't want to have to spend an hour working out. This is a great place to start. Is it all you ever have to do? No. But will you see benefits over the next 2 weeks to 4 weeks? Absolutely. You'll be surprised that oh my gosh, it felt like I was not really doing much and I feel that much better. Trying to be the best goalie you can be is a different kind of commitment. It really has to be one of your top 2 priorities. The first NHL goalie I ever trained was a guy named Jeff Hackett. He played for Montreal, and he used to tell young athletes, you have 3 things in your life. You have social, you have school, and you have hockey, and you can only be really good at 2 of those things. And it, to some extent, it's true. So, think about where you are on that level of a commitment. Are you one of those goalies who's obsessed with being the best you can be? Or are you a goalie who's it doesn't hurt my feelings. I'd like to be better, but I'm not going to be crushed, if I let in 8 goals a game. It's okay. I really am just out there to have fun. Drop a comment below. Let me know where you are kind of on that spectrum. So we'll start off superset B with a tall kneeling, just knee recovery vertical pop. So getting the practice of quickly getting this foot underneath us and then putting energy into the ground. And I know it's not exactly a goalie specific movement pattern. More often we're moving laterally than vertically, but we just want to get that pattern. Getting that foot underneath you quickly and popping up and putting energy into the ground quickly. So think about keeping a nice stable torso. Think about keeping your hands stable. Don't use your hands to help, because on the ice we need to keep our hands stable. So just boom and a little pop. It's not trying to jump as high as you possibly can. It's just a quick recovery pop and then gently come back down. We're not practicing going into our butterfly. Gently come back down. You're going to do 4 on each side. And this next one will literally look like nothing, because it's just tall kneeling isometric, which means there isn't any movement, hip internal rotation. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to use this force where it's the action of going into our butterfly. So we're going to get as wide as we can, but staying tall in our hips. And then we're just going to try to go even wider. So using the muscles in my hips, I'm trying to sweep my legs further forward, but that's the end of my range of motion. But what I'm doing by actively trying to go wider is I'm strengthening those muscles in the end range. So that will help me, if you're pushing across the crease and this pad folds in behind you when you do that half butterfly slide, or even when you got your pad on the post and they're trying to jam the puck in and you're like, oh, okay, I can't hold it. It's going to help with that. Now, if you have hip impingement issues, you're getting pain when you try to do that in your hip, then you need to leave that out. It should kind of feel like nothing. Like you should be like, well, I don't think I'm doing it right because it doesn't feel like it's really working. It's a very weak position. It'll feel like you're just generating no force at all, but you're doing the right thing. So you'll do 5 of those with a 5-second hold. So I'm just gonna push for 5 seconds and then relax. And then I'll push again for 5 seconds. I'll do 5 repetitions like that. That is superset B. You will do that 2 times. Then you'll go on to superset C, which is only 1 exercise. And it's single knee balance. So you're gonna finish off, again, I'm delicate, so I have a little knee pad under there, but you're gonna finish off with single knee balance. 1 knee down, 1 foot up, so I'm in my half kneeling position. I'm nice and strong and tall in my torso. So I'm bracing a little with my abdominals, and then I'm just lifting this front foot off the ground, and I'm trying to balance. And I don't want to use my hands to correct me. I really want this hip and my torso to figure out how to keep me nice and strong and balanced. If you struggle with moving from in your butterfly, falling over sometimes in your butterfly, a lot of it, people tend to think, oh, it's my core strength isn't good. Actually, a lot of it's hip strength to some extent, but just hip smarts. You know, our body knows how to balance from our foot. It doesn't know how to balance from our knees. So we just have to give it some reps. You're gonna do 45 seconds on each side of that one. That's it, that's all. This workout is kind of low enough volume, not too stressing on your connective tissue that you probably could do it every day. But let's just start with 3 times a week or 4 times a week, something like every other day. I think that'll give you good bang for your buck. If you want to up what you're doing and get a little more involved, then let's spend the other day focusing specifically on hip mobility and opening up those hips for you, giving you a little bit wider butterfly flare. And that would be from the Butterfly Challenge, which is a program I created for you that does exactly that. It gives you usually a 2 to 4 inch wider butterfly flare in 14 days or less. It is free. So you can search your app store to download it, or we'll drop a link in the description so you can go access that program for free. If you are not happy with your level of play, then something has to change. If you truly are one of those goalies who's obsessed with being the best, then a program like Game Winning Goalie Formula is what you're after. And I'll put a link in the description that gives you all the details, how much, and how to apply for a spot in one of those training groups. If you're just like, yeah, no, like a little better would be fine. I just like to stop a couple more pucks, but I'm not obsessed with it. Well, then this kind of workout will be fine. Consistency is the key. Either way, consistency is the key. Your body takes time to adapt. We're trying to change movement patterns. We're trying to actually remodel tissue. It takes time. It's like learning a language or learning to play the guitar. You can't do it just by practicing really hard for a week and then stopping, and then coming back to it again, you know, and stopping again. It needs to be consistent over time. Don't force it. Be gentle with your body. Your body likes to be the way it is. It takes a little coaxing to get it to change. So be patient, be gentle, be consistent. And now is when I ask you to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, like literally, what's your problem? Subscribe. If you've subscribed already, hit the bell, because YouTube tells you to tell people to hit the bell. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.